Tower of God Season 1 complete recap. Let's get into it. The story begins with Rachel telling Yoru to forget about her as she will climb the Tower of God to see the stars, disappearing into the gates. Yoru then teleports to the first floor of the tower, meeting the caretaker head on. He explains that Yoru must break a ball guarded by a powerful eel if he wants to climb the tower. Before attempting it, a princess of Jihad called Yuri interrupts Yoru. She explains that he is an irregular, someone not chosen to enter the tower, but someone who enters on their own. She lends him a powerful sword known as the Black March, and Yoru takes on the test, letting himself get eaten to cut up the eel. He then borrows the sword's strength to break the ball. Yoru is sent to the next floor, with Yuri following to retrieve her sword. Here, Yoru is greeted by 399 other floor contestants, with the next test being a killing match to whittle the number down to 200. Yoru recalls how he was amnesiac and all alone until Rachel came and took care of him. Yoru then encounters two other contestants, Kun and Rak. Both recognize the Black March, which greatly interests them. When the contestant number reaches 200, the test calls for teams of 3 to be formed, in which Yoru, Kun, and Rak form an alliance. They are teleported to the mothership, where the test administrator, Leroro, challenges them to traverse his barrier, which is formed using the tower's power, called Shinsu. All test administrators are rankers, people who have climbed the tower before. Everyone gets pushed back by the barrier, except Yoru. While others struggle to pass the Shinsu, Leroro warns Yoru not to get too close to Kun. The victors are then taken to another room for the third test. Before the test, a man hints to Kun that it must be completed within 5 minutes. Entering the test, they meet the director, Han Sung-yu, who tells them they have one chance to choose the correct door of 12 within 10 minutes. Kun begins to choke, conflicted about trusting the previous hint. Rak then opens a random door, and Yu reveals the real test was to open any door within 5 minutes. After passing, Leroro administers a bonus test. The test involves 5 rounds, where teams must attempt to steal a crown and sit on the throne until the end. In the first round, Anak, Hats, and Shibisu claim the crown. Yoru then notices a girl resembling Rachel. In the second round, Kun refrains from participating because Anak possesses the Green April, a powerful weapon that's part of the 13-month series, alongside the Black March. Anak then bets with Yoru. If his team wins, she relinquishes her whip. If not, he gives up the Black March. However, Anak left the throne, so her team is disqualified. Forced to participate, Kun uses his cloning bag to take the crown, sitting Yoru on the throne. Rachel's mysterious team then prepares to enter. Turns out, her team is OP. However, when Rachel gets attacked, Yoru jumps to protect her. Getting injured, Yoru releases an explosion of Shinsu. The game then ends as the crown melts and Yoru gets admitted to the infirmary. Rachel later visits him, asking Kun for a favor. Meanwhile, Leroro questions Yu about the bonus round. Yu cautions that as administrators, they must prevent anyone dangerous from claiming the tower's power, hinting at Yoru. In the aftermath, Rachel requests that Kun lies to Yoru about her identity, and Anak steals the Black March, but it refuses to listen to her. After Yoru reawakens, Kun tells him about how Leroro assigned them all positions to start the 4th test: Fisherman, Spearbearer, Lightbearer, Scout, and Wave Controller. These roles are specialized for team combat, especially on later floors. Yoru receives the Wave Controller position. For Shinsu to be used, contracts must be formed with the floor masters, but Yoru is warned that receiving the contract will only limit him. During mealtimes, Yoru meets Endorsi, a princess of Jihad, who labels Anak an imposter. An enraged Anak and Endorsi battle in a test, revealing her to be the daughter of a real princess with the same name, who was killed by the other princesses, prompting her to enter the tower for revenge. Jihad was the first person to climb the tower, becoming the king of all who live in it today. Endorsi explains that the princesses of Jihad are granted his power, but are forbidden to engage in intercourse and bearing children. Their fight ends with both Endorsi and Anak falling into a pit and getting seriously injured. In the final placement test, participants are split into teams A and B and asked to play a game of tag, with each team being tasked with helping their own it steal a badge from the administrator Quant or reach a safe zone. Lightbearer Kun employs his strategy to delay Quant so that Anak, their it, can escape through a bridge and pass. When Quant reaches the bridge, he finds Kun instead of Anak. Kun lies that Anak jumped off, but in reality, she is floating on Kun's lighthouse under the bridge. Quant detects this, and he jumps down, taking Kun with him. However, Anak uses the Green April to save Kun. At the bottom, Quant surprisingly finds Kun and Lauro, who offer him a ride up to steal Anak's badge. It is revealed Kun betrayed his own team so that his friends on Team B could pass. With Team A losing the game, Team B enters next. However, Team B is much more unorganized, bickering until Endorsi declares she will be it. Endorsi plans to keep the fisherman near her so she can observe how Quant moves. Endorsi then betrays the team and intends to kill the other fisherman to ensure she passes. Elsewhere, Yoru runs to Rachel and discovers Hole holding her hostage. Hole reveals that an anonymous letter said that killing Rachel would make Yoru quit, giving him leverage in passing the test. Rachel tries to break free when Hole accidentally stabs her. Yoru then uses a Ranker level Shinzu technique to paralyze Hole, recovering Rachel. Hole, realizing he is powerless compared to Yoru, stabs himself and dies. Endorsi then arrives at the scene. She tricks Quant into believing he stole her badge and instead steals his, giving Team B the win. After, Hole's corpse and Rachel are taken to emergency care. Rachel survives, but is confined to a wheelchair. All the contestants then attend Hole's funeral, with Serena leaving for good. Elsewhere, Yu discovers that wave controller teacher Yuga is a secret assassin from the Royal Enforcement Division. He is on a mission to retrieve the Green April and destroy the false princess, Anak. Yu allows him to pursue his mission. The next morning, the participants learn whether they passed or not. Yu announces that due to her injury, Rachel cannot continue. In an attempt to save her status, Kun asks for permission to take the administrator's test. Yu reminds him that only irregulars have the power to consult with the administrator, and Yoru announces that he is one, surprising everyone. Yoru is then taken to the administrator. After consulting with him, Yoru gets permission to take the test. If they pass, Rachel will move on. For the test, Yoru and Rachel are placed in an underwater Shinzu ball and must be captured by net dolphins. If they are eaten by the queen, they pass. The remaining participants must stop the net dolphins' enemies, the goblins and the pigs, from interfering. In the caves, Shibisu runs into a creature called the Bull, but is saved by Anak and Endorsi. The bull then runs off, separating them. Endorsi runs into the bull, which suddenly gets stronger and knocks her unconscious. Anak runs into the assassin, who impales her. It's revealed he was controlling the bull, which brings a captured Endorsi to him. The assassin then orders her to kill Anak. Meanwhile, Hats, Rak, and Paracule keep an eye on the goblins. Although instructed to wait, Paracule throws a spear, which causes the goblins to attack. Lauro follows Kun's plan and redirects the pigs to the goblins, making them fight each other and allowing Yoru and Rachel safe passage. In the caves, Endorsi chooses to fight alongside Anak, but they are not powerful enough to defeat the assassin. Suddenly, Princess Yuri arrives with her team and defeats him. As he dies, he sends the bull to kill Yoru and Rachel. It lands several hits before Yoru uses Shinzu to defeat it. As they rise upward, about to complete the test, Rachel stands up and pushes Yoru over the edge. Rachel's backstory is revealed, explaining how she desperately wanted to reach the top of the tower, but it never called her, as she was never special. She and Head-On watched as Yoru easily beat the first test, causing her to grow jealous of his talent. As a special test, Head-On will only allow her to climb the tower if she kills Yoru. She is given a bodyguard, but can't bring herself to kill him. Hua Ryun later tells Rachel that if she waits long enough, she'll be given a chance. The opportunity came when she was alone with Yoru in the bubble, and she managed to do it. The others then find her and assume Yoru had died, deciding that to honor him, they will help Rachel reach the top. After everyone leaves for the next level, Yoru wakes up in a cavern badly hurt, having been saved by Hua Ryun. He remembers Rachel pushing him and decides he needs to climb the tower in order to find his own answers. Now that you're all caught up, go and enjoy season 2. Peace, guys.